Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So once again, this holiday season, I vowed to give the gift of raising awareness of not eating while driving. And the reason for that is that I got into 2 accidents involving other people on the road who were eating while driving this past year, number one, and I want to make up for that. And number 2, one of the saddest sagas of my time here in Phoenix, I've been here a little bit over a year, is that this is my second Christmas here, and I don't really have any friends to exchange some gifts with. And I figured if I could save a life, right? If I can give a few people their lives back by not eating and driving, that's the best gift I could give. And that kind of makes up for not actually having somebody to exchange gifts with. And I know it sounds weird, but that's how I feel about it. Every time I record one of these videos, I feel a heck of a lot better about my situation. Now I want to talk today's video is going to be about excuses that people sometimes give me after they eat and drive or after they hear about this. Now there is one thing I've noticed about talking about eating and driving. So I sometimes talk about it at work, sometimes while playing board games at a meetup, sometimes with a stranger at the shopping mall, just when I'm bored out of my mind sometimes. And I've noticed there's a strong correlation between how addicted somebody is with food and how defensive they get about the idea of not eating while driving, right? If you talk to somebody, if you see somebody who's very obese, good luck trying to talk to them about eating and driving, or you're lucky not to get murdered in that case, right? If you go to the shopping mall and you see somebody eating very normally, right, taking small bites out of their food, savoring their food, even saying a prayer before their food, oh yeah, they'll agree with you about not eating while driving. But some of the excuses I hear are just really funny. The number one excuse I often hear is that there are so many distractions on the road anyway. What about texting? What about having a passenger in the car? What about daydreaming while driving? I got some news for you. Those things are bad too. That doesn't mean it's a bad idea to there are a lot of dangerous things that one can do, right? Rock climbing is so dangerous. So what's so bad about also shooting drugs, right? What's so bad about, if you shouldn't, oh my God, there's so much junk food that we're eating as a society. What's so wrong with also taking some drugs, right? No, both of them are wrong, right? It's bad to text and drive. It's bad to get lost in conversation with a passenger in the car. Now, I gotta point out something. One of the people that I talked to made the excuse that having a passenger in the car already increases your risk of an accident, even if you don't say anything to them. I gotta point out something. What's the alternative? Assuming the passenger also needs to get where they need to go. The alternative is that both of you could drive separately, right? And have both cars having a risk of accidents, not to mention the environmental impact. And he just wants to look for a way to allow himself to eat and drive. And then he mentioned the kind of food that he eats behind the wheel. He says he only eats stuff that only takes one hand. Yeah, and when the food spills and burns yourself, and you're going 60 on the freeway, or you're in stop-and-go traffic, and the food burns yourself, and you don't pay attention to what's in front of you, and you have to hit the brakes. And seriously. Is that acceptable? He's, food spills on me all the time anyway, and so you got so you're making a mess all the time when you're eating, not just in your car, but at your dining table, in front of your TV, in your office, and you're just gonna accept that seriously? And he's, I don't have the time to eat, and I looked at his waistline. You could miss a few meals. Come back to me with your excuse of no time to eat when there's a pandemic of people not having enough time to eat because they're working so much that people are dropping dead of starvation left and right. But when there's a pandemic of that, okay, come back to me with, I don't have enough time to eat. I gotta eat behind the wheel. Anyways, I thought I would point out some of the excuses, and the comical thing is that the more overweight somebody is, the more they feel like, oh my god, I don't have time to eat any other time, right? I gotta do it in my car. Yeah, the reason you don't have time to eat is because you're too ambitious about what you want to eat, right? Be ambitious about something else instead, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.